On today's Minute of the Apes, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! Exercise with an ape maker, human down. It talks. You're the keepers of the divine bound. It is our only reason for survival. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. The only good human is a dead human!
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, a daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time, and then we find out nuggets of information that you've never seen Ghostbusters.
We haven't. Didn't we reveal that at some point in movies we haven't watched? I think we did it on an in-between, right?
It's been so long. I don't know. Maybe we have.
I'm 52 years old. I don't remember what I just did 3 seconds ago.
That was many beers ago.
So I have not seen Ghostbusters all the way through.
Did you see the remake? The female one?
I did see the remake one. I
How
did
was
see that
that?
one. It's funny. I mean, it's funny. What was really weird about that one is that probably two of the you would imagine the two stronger comedic characters or actors play straight characters in the movie, so it was took me a little bit back.
Huh.
I expected Melissa McCarthy and
Kristen
Wiig to play comedic characters, and they're mostly just kind of the straight characters to the other two.
I swear I didn't see that, and it was never that I don't want to see women in the role. I just don't care for the ladies that are in it. They're not funny to me.
funny.
And so I was like, meh,
You
not
should
my
watch
kind of thing.
the, what is it, CinemaSins, I think, to Everything Wrong with the New Ghostbusters. They put one out just
Oh, did
recently.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm sounding very... Anyway, so here we are. We're into minute 53. Good Lord, this week's flying by. Sean, tell us what's going on.
All right, we start minute 53 with Cornelius saying, well, it began in our prehistory, and ends with Cornelius saying that apes went from performing tricks to performing services.
Here we come, minute 53 of this very deeply historic look back on Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
It began in our prehistory with the plague that fell upon dogs.
And cats.
Hundreds and thousands of them died, and hundreds and thousands of them had to be destroyed in order to prevent the spread of infection.
There were dog bonfires.
Yes, and by the time the plague was contained, man was without pets. Now, of course, for man, this was intolerable. I mean, he might kill his brother, but he could not kill his dog. So, humans took primitive apes as pets.
Primitive and dumb. But still 20 times more intelligent than dogs or cats.
Correct. They were quartered in cages, but they lived and moved freely in human homes. They became responsive to human speech, and in the course of less than 2 centuries, they progressed from performing mere tricks to performing services.
All right, as of minute 53, we have a planet's worth of humans, plus 2 living apes, 1 who's pregnant, and 1 dead ape.
Okay, I'm going to set the table before we say anything because I asked you guys to hold off. Holy shit, do we hit the fan right here of things of like, where did this knowledge come from? Yeah. I mean, we spent the first movie with them just going,
digging through caves and
I found a doll. Was this not? Yeah. My granddaughter plays with the human dolls.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I want to set the stage of at least this. I found myself watching this minute probably more than I've watched any minute successively.
Right.
I was like, what? If Corny had just said, when the gorillas went off to war, we found the opportunity and read the Sacred Scrolls. If he could have, if there was any kind of contextual thing like
how
that.
he got this knowledge,
Where does this come from?
And he also shared it with Zira. I mean, it moves beyond just the fact that they were kind of unknowing in the first film. And the second film, he suddenly had like the book. The book was laid in front of him to open up and read all this. Well, this is what our history was. How does he know all of this?
Yeah.
Right.
He references the scroll the minute before.
Doesn't everything
That's the
begin with
only
a
way we
prehistory?
could know that he would know all of this information. Unless these were tales that were passed down.
But they don't line up with what his knowledge is in the first film. And Cornelius is not a main character in the second. We don't see any evolution of that. If you're going to give him knowledge that he didn't possess in the first film, you have to do something to tell us where that knowledge came from.
You think he would have told Taylor this stuff too?
And it's a compelling story. Now, I don't want to be ugly. I think it's a great story. I think it's a very cool idea that Dane's come up with of the how and why this occurred. And it works. It just doesn't work for Cornelius to have it.
And to share it with Zira. They both have this information. They've traveled back in time, not knowing, where they are, what's happening, yet they know all of this information.
Right.
It's pretty big.
It's not just pretty big. It's an atomic bomb big. I mean, we're setting it off here that this changes the landscape of the world. Would this, possessing this kind of information, would that also not cloud the studies of their scientific ape human type things? Because now they know they wouldn't be searching for, can humans speak? Human speech wouldn't be.
That wouldn't be a surprise.
That would be a surprise because at one time humans had monkeys as pets, and he's understanding things that conceptually don't fit with what he understood just 2 movies ago.
And in the grand scheme of things, 2,000 years is not that long a time. So we still remember things from 2,000 years ago. We have records of things from 2,000 years ago.
Right.
So this shouldn't be a surprise. Yeah.
Now, what I did find interesting is when we get to the new films that Richard has not seen. So those of you who've joined early who may not have listened before, here's how this all works. I grew up loving these films, have seen all these films.
I like to think of the person that's just jumping into this on episode 54 or 53.
Well, you know what? I'm not kidding that, I'll go in every day and the Facebook page will be, there's 3-4 more people following us there. So there are people jumping in. I don't know that they start with Planet of the Apes.
And just move into it, yeah.
Sean's never seen these films. He's actually watching these 1 minute at a time. Richard and I have. Richard has not seen the new films. So when we get to those, he will be our neophyte here. So what I think is pretty cool, and I think you'll see when we get into those new films, they've actually taken some of this ideology
and put it in
and made it work into that. So, and again, this works. Him possessing it does not.
Having the knowledge of it. If you heard this statement right now, this is a back and forth with Zira and Cornelius. We don't hear Hassline say anything at all. If you were hearing this about this plague that wipes out dogs and then cats, I love how obviously Cornelius is a dog person and
he said
Zira
that first.
is a cats person, right?
And
then cats.
Is she a cat lady?
I guess so, yeah.
She's a cat monkey.
No,
A
cat chimpanzee.
Cat.
Please, we don't use
no
monkeys.
monkeys.
We don't
Come
use
on.
monkeys. No. I love it. And there were dog bonfires. that line kind of cracked me up just a little bit.
I have no sense of smell, but which one is worse, a dog bonfire or a wet dog? Which one smells worse?
I think burning flesh of any kind.
I'm sorry, wet dog. That is one of my least favorite smells in the whole world.
Well, what's the difference between burning flesh and cooking meat?
Oh, I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess the meat's processed as opposed to burning a body.
Depends on where you get it from.
I don't know. I've never done this.
Well, let's go burn some dogs and find out.
Oh my goodness! So Sean will no longer be on Minute of the Apes for his little "Let's burn dog" joke.
So by the time the plague was contained, so apparently the plague just affected pets. Then humans began to take the apes as pets themselves. If you're Hassline and you're listening to all of this, would you see apes as the threat, or that you've got to stop this impending dog plague?
So that hit me too, and I thought at this point the apes are no longer his threat. They're just a part of the evolution that occurred with what really was the problem.
Taking this minute alone.
But Hassline, for whatever reason, maybe in his backstory, is something to do with apes. Maybe he hates apes.
I'm just trying to figure out, the dogs and cats are gone, but they're saying like humans don't have pets anymore, so we took apes as pets. We still have birds. We still have horses.
Fish.
People have pigs. I mean, just because dogs and cats are done doesn't mean we desperately search out for a replacement for that, because we have replacements for it.
We do, but I mean, apes are probably more closely aligned with what we would want. They would interact with us probably a little bit better than just a bird. I don't understand bird
knowing
pets.
what we
No offense to
know
anybody that's
about
bird as a pet.
Apes in general, apes are can be very aggressive towards humans. Like
That woman that had her face raped.
Literally, they will go for your face and they'll go for your genitals because those are the two places that's easy to get to and really hurts somebody.
Can I tell you how many times Sean has said that?
Talking about monkeys going after your nuts.
Because I end up editing these things post. I have to hear Sean talking about faces and genitals more often than I want to hear. So if we can somehow not steer down this path again.
We can nut steer down.
Nut? Okay, Richard wins this episode.
I just put in a search, monkey attacks face genitals, and literally the first thing that comes back is
website.
Ape strength and aggression are cited as dangers, and then the quote in it says, they go for the face, hands, and genitals. You can't control the monkey.
They'll rip your nuts off.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't have anything after that. I'm done. But he then continues to talk about how they evolved, right? Mm-hmm. We do close out this minute with him saying, primitive and dumb, but still 20 times more intelligent than cats and dogs, which we know, why would they not be pets already? They lived in houses. They moved freely. They became responsive to human speech. And in the course of only two centuries progressed from performing mere tricks to performing services. I think there's definitely some stuff with Zero that I want to talk about later on, but it's just, I don't know, just this weird unfolding of knowledge and how they became where they came from and how we get more to the evolution, I think, in the next minute.
And even though, it's in the next minute, you can kind of see where this is going, that they're turning them into a slave race of some sort.
Yeah. And so while you were speaking there, Richard, I was trying to think of how could you build this so it worked. If Cornelius, I don't even think he would have had to have, hey, we had a moment to go read the scrolls. I'm an archaeologist. In my digs, I put together a theory. Mm-hmm. Ding!
A theory, yeah.
There it is. That what I saw was this. This occurred. That there were humans.
I found remnants of XYZ. Yeah.
There were this and this. There are dogs and cats. We don't have very many dogs and cats in our time. Blah, blah, blah. You could have explained this just by his theory, but instead he is somehow the expert, only true remnants of the Planet of the Apes, so therefore he is the authority on it, but it's an authority that has no basis in truth according to what the world building we have to this point.
So when you look at the minute when they're talking, Cornelius is standing the entire time, and this is the shot, since we no longer have the E2 with the three little people in a suit making him tall. The shot is actually now with Cornelius kind of looming over the desk a little bit more. It is a little bit more dominant of a pose as he talks to Hassline. Hassline is so nonplussed. Man, he's got his left arm up on his cheek.
He's already made his decision.
He's already made it. Yeah, that's a good point. He's already made his decision. He is relaxed back in his chair. He's got, two fingers up by his temple with his kind of face cradled in that left hand. And he's just non-reacting. But during this time, as Cornelius is kind of finishing his statement, he then proceeds to sit down, I guess indicating that he's delivered the bulk of the terrible knowledge and is about to relax in kind of a more casual conversation. I don't know why he didn't remain standing the entire time. And then Hassline kind of, as Cornelius is talking, we're just kind of cutting back and forth between Hassline and Cornelius with a little bit of Zero who's still seated. Hassline then kind of moves up a little bit more, but not much more. He just seems like
he should be the one leading the interrogation, almost like these E1, E2s.
Trying to catch him and
are asking simple questions, and he asks the big, deep one that takes him to a place that either exposes the apes to be a danger, something like that, but he does nothing.
There's no leading. It's all just Cornelius like, I'm just going to spit all this out.
The Star Trek episode 6 where don't wait for the translation, answer the question.
Yeah. So it's a cool minute. It's a cool idea. We just struggle with the how and why that it even exists. Correct?
Right.
Fair? All right, so that's minute 53 in the books. We'll be back with minute 54, and I hope we have some clarity by that time. I don't think we will, but I hope we do. Hope is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
All right, so for Richard and Sean, I'm Todd. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.